Hello and welcome. This is Daniel with Mission Viejo Kia and Patterson Autos, and today we're going to be test driving the Kia EV9, Kia's three-row fully electric SUV. If you're familiar with the Kia Telluride, think of this vehicle as a fully electric version of the Telluride. A lot of people really love that car for what it offers in the interior and the exterior. This is going to follow a lot of those design language cues, but definitely a little bit more modern, and that is very apparent when you take a look at the vehicle, especially on the outside. Definitely more angular, definitely more of a futuristic design. That being said, it is still a very smooth ride and very quiet, as most EVs are and should be, given that they don't have a motor, a gas motor. That being said, so we're gonna take it out for a spin. This is a car that I personally really enjoy driving. I think if you are the type to really like sitting up, having a really good view and command of the road, then you're gonna really like the way that this one handles and drives. It is very smooth, doesn't drive like a big boat, and overall, just the feedback on it is just very, very crisp. I will say we are gonna be driving the Land model, so if you're doing some shopping and some trim comparisons, if this is one that you might be interested in, then these are some of my takeaways and impressions on the driving experience. Now, why you would want to go up to the Land trim, maybe not on the 26s anymore, but the 26s actually, they've got a good mix of technology. But before, it used to be that you went up to the Land to get the extra cameras. This is going to have blind spot view monitors as well as the surround view monitor. So when I am changing lanes or I'm backing into a parking space, you're going to be able to see who is in my blind spot. And so Kia obviously has taken a lot of the design language from the Telluride and just implemented it, made it electric, and this is the package that we have now. So driving it, I mean, it's pretty smooth, pretty responsive, very quiet, as I mentioned. Right now I've got the seat coolers turned on, so on a hotter day, it's just gonna keep my back nice and cool. Nobody likes sweating while they're driving, right? So that's gonna be a really great thing there. Here I'm taking a look at our 360 monitor and backing this thing up. Super simple with this camera. The steering wheel, the feel of the steering wheel is also really nice, right? They widened up actually the view of the steering wheel, so you have a wider pass-through, so you can actually see the infotainment, which I think is also really great. But just overall, if you've got a family, you've been thinking about making the switch to electric, but you've been looking at your options out there and you're just like, there's not a ton out there that really offers me what I'm looking for, right? It's either you're looking at a price point that's way above, almost even into the six figures, or you're looking at something that's more crossover-like, right? That doesn't have that third row. This is gonna give you the mix of comfort, you got space, and you've got tech, right? And all at a price point that's kind of sandwiched in between a lot of I mean, honestly, on the lower end of a lot of cars that are in this segment. So if I were shopping for a three-row SUV and I wanted to go full electric, this would be one of the first cars on my list. And here we're sitting in one of the higher optioned ones. So that means we're going to be getting all-wheel drive, which means that this is on a full charge. You're doing about 285 miles. You can obviously max that to be more than 300 depending on the way you drive, right? If you have the regenerative braking on, you do have one pedal driving with this car, which I have on right now. No brakes, no gas, right? It'll slow the car down on its own, be able to come to a complete stop, and then you pair that with the auto hold feature, and it'll basically, every time you come to a complete stop, it's just gonna hold it for you. All you gotta do is hit the accelerator and you're gonna go. So that's one pedal driving for you, super simple. And notably, one of my favorite features on this car is the headrests. I mean, these things are so unbelievably comfortable that I think every car should start to implement some sort of mesh kind of material here, because I think it's just like super agreeable, let's say, with the back of my head. So there's that. And with the all-wheel drive, you're going to be getting two motors, which means this trim level in particular, and any trim level on the Kia EV9 that has the all-wheel drive, you're going to be getting extra torque. And if you've driven an EV before, you know about this torque, right? It's that, like, it's going to shoot you back into your seat type of torque, which, depending on how you like to drive, that can be a good thing or a bad thing. We've got a few different drive modes. So I have eco mode, I've got normal mode, which is kind of what it defaults to, and then I've got sport mode if I want to cut somebody off or make my exit. Now what you're seeing is with these EVs, that torque is so powerful that a car like this will get you off the line and you're moving. You're going 0 to 60 in like, I don't know, like 3-4 seconds. You know, I'm not sure what the exact specs are off the top of my head, but it's fast. Like, I've got it in sport mode right now. I'm gonna take it to a road here where we can kind of, so we're gonna do a little launch. Ready? And 3, 2, 1. Okay. It's really fun. You know, I don't think it gets old. Obviously, use with caution. We do not condone speeding or unsafe driving here at Patterson Autos, but with sport mode, it goes. And I think you'll be pleased. You won't be lacking any kind of power here. So that is going to be the all-wheel drive in a nutshell. Now it is also paired up with this new terrain mode that's new for the 2026. So you got snow, you've got mud and sand. Should you find yourself in those terrains with your brand new 2026 all-electric Kia EV9, the ergonomics of the steering wheel are all basically where you think they would be, right? I can just kind of sit, cruise along. I've got all the information here on the instrument cluster kind of giving me some good feedback on what's the speed limit like, am I staying within the lanes. I've got auto dimming side view mirrors, for example, so if I've got those cars late at night that are blinding me with their really bright LEDs, that's going to dim it for me. I've got emergency braking, I've got a digital rear view mirror, I've got a wireless phone charger here, I've got physical controls here on my steering wheel that allow me to control the gauge cluster here, infotainment system, the volume, I can speak to the car. If I'm connected via Apple CarPlay, Siri will pop up. A lot of things to love about the way they've set it up. And then especially with the regenerative braking, you use paddle shifters here to adjust the level, so you can also adjust that as we're driving. So right now, if I decided I want more coast, you know, we're just kind of cruising along and I don't want to stop as abruptly and recharge that battery, then I can adjust that. All I got to do is hit this paddle shifter and it'll allow for more coast. If I'm doing more stop and go traffic and you see there's a bunch of traffic coming up, then you can go ahead and adjust that the other way. And of course, we've got blind spot monitoring, we've got emergency braking, should that be a case. So all the advanced driver assistance systems on this car work very well. In the settings, all adjustable. If you don't like the way this thing beeps or yells at you, you can adjust all of that stuff, right? It's super intuitive, and that's just what I like about this car. It's a car that happens to be electric. It's not one of those EVs that is like, oh, we're just gonna make everything super complicated and over-engineered for the sake of it being like a cool, futuristic, tech, modern car. And if I had my music going or a podcast going, the sound insulation in here is so good that I can barely hear any road noise. So if you're the type to do a lot of commuting, you're on the freeway a lot, and be spending a lot of time on the road, this is gonna be a really great option as a commuter. And obviously you can charge this now at the Tesla charging station, so it supports the NACS adapter, and 10 to 80% charge on a level 3 800 volt here at 25 minutes, 10 to 80%. I mean, a lot of people, you know, again, they come in, they're very surprised that this is what Kia is offering now, but they've stepped up their game, and I think the driving experience really shows. So I would say do yourself a favor if you're in the market, come get behind the wheel of a Kia EV9 and see what the EVs are coming out with, especially Kia EVs. And I think Kia moving forward is really going to hone in on their craft. They kind of knocked it out of the park with this one, and it's just a really nice vehicle to drive and be in. So I would say that is the driving impressions for the EV9. Hope you enjoyed my thoughts and opinions on this. This has been Daniel with Patterson Autos. Thank you for tuning in. Come check us out at Mission Viejo Kia or Tustin Kia. And as always, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.